Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having a great day in Jesus. I wanted to talk about a group known as the Hypsistarians. I've talked about them a couple times here on the channel, and it really helps interpreting parts of Revelation chapter 2 and Revelation chapter 3, what was going on there in Asia Minor. So let's get started. Thanks for being here. It's kind of like a heretical Jewish sect is what it was. So the Hypsistarians, worshippers of the Hypsistos, the Most High God, and similar variations of the term. I'm just on Wikipedia. Good generalization. We understand the pros and cons of Wikipedia, the weaknesses and the strengths. But in this particular case, it's really good. And there's very few places on the internet to find great stuff on it, actually. First appear in the writings of Gregory Nazianzus in his Orations 18:5, and Gregory of Nyssa contra Eunomians in about AD 374. The term has been linked to a body of inscriptions that date from around 100 AD to around 400 AD, mostly small votive offerings, but also including altars and stelae dedicated to Theos Hypsistos, or sometimes merely Hypsistos, mainly found in Asia Minor, Cappadocia, Bithynia, and Pontus, and the Black Sea coast that are today part of Russia. So you're in the Turkey, Russia area. It says 100 to 400 AD. Most people would say it was actually around in the 1st century AD as well. So that would be, for scholars who've studied this, for our purposes. Okay, so the history, the name Hypsistoroi first occurs in Gregory of Nazianzus and in the name Hystopeni and Gregory of Nyssa. Gregory of Nazianzus describes a syncretic Jewish pagan group that does not worship idols, reveres lamps and fire, and worships the Almighty, who they call the Pantocrator, if you know the Greek language. That would be like a very high up in deity, but not necessarily deity. My memory serves me correctly. They keep Sabbath and adhere to dietary restrictions, but they do not circumcise. Gregory of Nyssa, as they refer to God as the highest, Hypsistos, or Almighty Pantocrator. Gregory of Nazianzus' description of this cult occurs in his eulogy for his father, who was a Hypsistarian before his conversion to Christianity. This cult may have formed as the native Cappadocian cult of Zeus Zabazios, integrated with the cult of Jahve Sabaoth, the Lord of Hosts, practiced by the numerous and intellectually predominant Jewish colonies. They've actually got a little statue here on this. And that association's Sodalicia Theosoi of strict monotheist formed, who fraternized with the Jews, but who considered themselves free from the law of Moses, who say they are Jews and are not. And it's a very dangerous thing to bring some of this Revelation 2, Revelation 3 terminology into the modern day, because it's, in context, it's not referring to the modern day. It's referring to, in all probability, this sect. In the late 3rd century AD, that would be the late 200s, shrine in a wall of the ancient city of Noenda provides the strongest archaeological evidence for the cult. It is adorned with an inscription adapting a declaration of the Apollinarian oracle of Didyma, describing the god as self-begotten, untaught, unmothered, undisturbed, not permitting a name, many named, dwelling in fire. Our God is a consuming fire, but not like the Ahura Mazda of the Zoroastrians. Another inscription below the first dedicates a lantern to the Most High God. In addition, a great number of votive tablets and other inscriptions are evidence that referring to one or more of the gods of the Most High, such as Theos Hypsistos, God Most High, or Zeus or Attis, but frequently unnamed, was widespread throughout Anatolia. Now it quotes here Acts 16:17, these men are servants of the Most High God, the oracle of Pythia at Philippi. That's what the little girl, the demon-possessed little girl, was saying. Contemporary Hellenistic use of hypsistos as a religious term appears to be derived from and compatible with the term as appears in the Septuagint from a much earlier date and translates the Hebrew elyon, meaning highest. This term occurs more than 50 times as a substitution for the tetragrammaton, or in direct relation to God, mostly in Psalms, Daniel, and Syriac. The existence of Hypsistarians may have contributed to the astounding swiftness of the spread of Christianity in Asia Minor, yet not all of them accepted the new faith, and small communities of monotheists who were neither Christians or Jews continued to exist, especially in Cappadocia. Perseus, from 34 to 62 AD, now this is some first century evidence, may have had Hypsistarians in view when he ridiculed such hybrid religionists in Satire 179 to 184, and Tertullian 160 to 225 AD seems to refer to them in Adnotians. This claim that Hypsistarians continue to exist until the 9th century, the 800s, relies on a mistaken interpretation of Nicephorus, the Constitution. Hypsistarians are probably referred to under the name of Colocolo in a decree of the emperors Honorius and Theodosius in AD 408, in which their places of worship are transferred to the Christians. Another fascinating, more modern reference is by Goethe, and it looks like Goethe, but Goethe, not goatee. But I have found no confession of faith to which I could ally myself without reservation. Now, in my old age, however, I've learned of a sect, the Hypsistarians, who hemmed in between heathens, Jews, and Christians, declared they would treasure, admire, and honor the best and most perfect that might come to their knowledge, and inasmuch as it must have a close connection to the Godhead, pay it reverence, a joyous light thus beamed at me suddenly out of a dark age, for I had no feeling that all my life I'd been aspiring to qualify as a Hypsistarian. That, however, is no small task, for how does one in the limitations of one individuality come to know what is most excellent? And it could be what refers to, the Antichrist in Daniel 11. In his room, he worships the god of forces, which is Mars. This would be Zeus, but maybe some off branch of this as well. So this really helps, again, possibly with Acts 16, possibly God-fearers inscriptions as well. Some people speculate, but especially Revelation chapters 2 and 3. This group known as the Hypsistarians. One reason I love studying the Word of God, because, man, you learn something new constantly, maybe something new every day. Love you. Check out our other videos. Join us daily. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification. Share with your friends. Put it on social media. And God bless. We'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.